lost my thread quite a lot in the second interview because, you know, I was too many ideas in my head, but I was more comfortable because I think what we showed.
Yeah.
And there's perhaps two reasons. I'm glad that people saw, because that's what I was going to say, but I just wanted to check that I came across. I think there's probably two reasons for that. One is that it's probably it's something that I've sort of talked about before, not for quite a long time, but when the paper first came out, I gave a few talks and workshops on it. So I've kind of, you know, there's some degree of rehearsal in there. And secondly, it's sort of, well, if you want to go back to Anna's interview, I was more comfortable talking about history stuff, facts,
and
the future stuff, which kind of becomes a bit more nebulous and a bit more personal and a bit more this, that, and the other.
Yes.
And this was all, this paper was much more like the first half of Anna's.
Yes. Yes.
Which is, I hesitate to say it's the first half, but it's a...
Of course, this is
in terms of what you're covering in the second interview, you're saying things which are relevant to us all. Your stance is, I'm a researcher, warts and all, we all make mistakes. Whereas in the first interview, you're talking about a role that we don't have, and which is very public. And so therefore, I mean, you said a couple of times, oh, I might not be able to say anything about that. And we had lunch together with Anna, and there were all kinds of things he said, but of course I won't be saying that in the interview.
That's
so
true.
Well, there's some element of what you're comfortable to say publicly, because this is, you know, that role is, there are some awkwardnesses around it. So,
well, this was about me, whereas the first one was about a role that I hold. And the role that I hold as editor, obviously people see that role in different ways. The way I see it is you've got to be in the background. You don't, you know, as to be a successful editor, people have to see you as, for whatever you might mean, neutral, accepting of every possibility as it enters the peer review process. So you can't really assert your personal perspective as editor, because that's not what the job requires. In the service of the journey, you're there for the journey, you're not there for you. Whereas this was about, like I say, something that I did, so I can talk about that in a different way.
So Graham said that he's more comfortable, maybe markedly more comfortable in the second interview. Did you see that? And if you did, what did you see what was it that you noticed?
I think it was his body position. He was like really comfortable. He was like that, and
my
sort
arms
of
died, didn't
yes,
they? My arms went off.
Yes, no, and he was sitting comfortably and sort of relaxed.
There was no laughing, no nervous laughing, whereas there was with the Christiana laugh. It's I don't have to answer this, whereas your second time you were just very happy answering all the questions, you didn't laugh.
Laughter is often a signal of awkwardness, and a slight awkwardness. I mean, like in that data that Fiona and Sue shared in the Cake and Cats article. Did you notice anything about Mark's first words that he said for a lot of his terms? What was the first word that he used? But. He used but three or four times. What was the other word that he used? So. And these small choices, Keith Richards has written about this, you know, that you don't have to be full-scale CA experts to just focus on some of the language choices. What does so and but actually mean? You know, how does that position Mark in this interview? Now, we're not saying, again, it's not good or bad, but it's interesting to note. What else did you notice about Mark's kind of interview style or